All right, well, that brings us to the end of the news recap right here on New Day. It's a fantastic Friday morning, Feel Good Friday to be precise, right here on your favorite morning breakfast show. It is New Day, and we are, of course, live on ebru TV. But we need to go for a short commercial break. Like when we come back, it's about to get hot in here. In case you are just joining in and you don't know what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about a very interesting conversation. Ushai pita kila pahali kwa social media unaona tu negative energy, and as far as marriages are concerned. People saying that, oh, anga, me, I don't want to get married. Anga, marriages don't work. Anga, men are like this, men are like that. Hashtag Nairobi. What do you think about it? We're going to be tackling that particular conversation. Why exactly don't marriages work? Or do you think marriages actually work? Because according to statistics, hey, statistics, yeah, 50% of marriages actually end in divorce. And why exactly does that happen? We're going to be having some amazing panelists who are going to be chatting with me on the conversation table today. We're going to be having Frida Kithinji, who's a marriage counselor, and Cleopas, who's also a marriage counselor as well. So I want you to sit right and sit tight for that. We have a very interesting conversation. And I remember as I was researching about this particular topic, a friend of mine was telling me, yani me hata sijui mnaongelea nini, by the way, because honestly, I do not want to get married. I do not believe that marriages are going to work in these current times because, number one, Nairobi. Yes, you know, people say that in this Nairobi, it is a big bedroom, so it's just basically not going to work. So men think women are this kind of way. Women think men are going to act this kind of way once you get into marriage. People think that automatically a man will commit infidelity the moment you get into marriage with him. So you go into a marriage with a lot of stereotypes, so you just don't want to get married. So we're going to be delving into a conversation where we take a look at why exactly most marriages don't work, and if they do, what are people doing right, and the ones that don't work, ni nini tunafanya wrong. So I want you to do just one thing for me. Please make sure that you're interacting with me across all our social media platforms. That is ebru TV Kenya on Instagram and on Twitter, on Facebook at ebru TV KE, via our short SMS line 40920, official hashtag usisahau New Day KE. I'm going to be sampling out all of your comments. Jana wasal kwa namuza guy king ulisawaje kutusample your comments. I will do that for you. Yani leo star let down kabisa kabisa. And send in your paragraphs. Kama kawaida, Tim Paragraphs, my favorite people in the world. 0777672230 is the number. Or you can call in live. Let me hear your beautiful voices. 0115889757 is our number. 0115889757 is our number. All that information will be at the bottom part of your screen. But right about now, we need to get straight into it. I have two amazing guests who are going to be chatting with me for this particular conversation. I have a marriage psychologist. I've had that conversation. Marriage counselor. Sorry about that. I respect your title. Yeah, Amekuja Minyongelesha, and I can see she's looking fantastic. The energy that she has. Y'all are not ready in the studio. Her name is Frida Kegocha. Well, let me practice. Have I done it justice? Yes. Thank you. And of course, we have another guest in studio. He is a psychologist. Your name is Cleopa Kenywanjiru. Karibu sana. Karibuni sana. First of all, how do you feel? It's Friday. It's the end of the week. How are you feeling, Frida?
Pretty good.
Great. And you look great as well. Cleopa, how are you feeling?
It's a good feeling to come to the end of the week and looking forward for relaxation, self-care after having supported people the whole week.
Yeah. It's your time now to relax.
Yeah.
Take a chill pill. Yeah. Have some self-care. And Frida, what do you look forward to the most Friday kifika? Like una look forward to nini during the weekend?
Having some time with my family and myself. Yes.
That's fantastic. Relaxing. And it's good to see that you are indeed taking care of yourselves. And we need to get into this conversation. I was looking, when I was doing my research, I saw a certain statistic that I've been talking about the entire show that was stating that 50% of marriages these days lead into divorce. How true is that?
It's true. Many marriages are failing, unfortunately. Yes, because of various reasons. Yes.
And do you think, for Cleopa, in that perspective, first of all, what is your take on that particular statistic before anything?
For me, I think one, we may require a scientific research. You see, it has to be evidence-based to come into such a conclusion. So I've not come across any person who has really done a research that is scientifically proven that this is the status of the event. Then there is the element of the negative things are the ones that come out in the right. As in, it is easy when we have 2, 3, 4 marriages don't work, those will be talked about loudly. But it's also not easy to get people talking about the marriages that are working. So in my view, there are quite a number of people who are living happily in marriage. The challenge would be you would not expect people to be happy from 1st to 31st, from January to December. There will be challenges in between, but the secret is how are they able to resolve the conflict, the issues that come by. And that's why now, like, how do they resolve that? The first is traditionally it was the family, then friends, but currently we have people who are specialized. We have therapists, we have counselors who can be able to support couples. So with that support, a number of couples are going for therapy, for counseling, either as a couple or as an individual, and they are getting helped and they are working for their marriage. So basically, sometimes what we see in the social media, what people talk about, they might generalize because that marriage and that marriage did not work. Then we come into a conclusion, all marriages don't work. So there may be need for a good research that is scientific and evidence-based to be able to come with a conclusive that 50% of marriages are working or 10%.
Okay, and I want to ask Frida, from the realistic point of view, I know as a marriage counselor, you interact with a lot of people on a daily basis. And natukuniambia tu vile vitu ziko kwa ground, like what exactly is the realistic point of view? Because what we see, as you raised it on social media, we see a lot of negativity, like, sahi ukiingia kuolewa, why you'll have to change everything. It will not work if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't do this. There's a lot of demands about that. Could you tell us from a realistic point of view, let's say I'm a young person who wants to get married, but I have that negative mentality. Vitu kwa ground zikwaje?
I think it's about someone's attitude. If you get into something with an attitude that it will not work, it will not work.
And our marriage is working. Wasi wenye wanakuja kwako, are they really working?
Yes, marriages work, and the young people and everyone needs to hear that they do work, and many have worked. So I think it's about our attitudes. When we are getting into marriage, our attitude really matter because you know you have to work at it or on it. It's not something that you get in it and you know you get everything is all set because we come from different backgrounds. There are many contributing factors, especially our background. Where are you coming from? Did you see your parents' marriage working or not working? But even whether it worked or not, it is good to know it is my marriage. It's not my parents' marriage. So attitude matters a lot. Yes, and marriages are working. Like my colleague has just said, we just need to work on them. We need to have the right attitude. We need to, of course, expect the best out of it, expect challenges to come with that, and be willing to work on it. Have friends that you can talk to. If you don't have, if maybe what's come to us, counselors, psychologists, we are here, marriage counselors, to work with people who are struggling in marriages. Yes, marriages do work.
Okay, and now to the conversation, the key conversation of today. For the ones that don't work, what are some of the reasons, very briefly, because we're going to be breaking down further each reason and what are the implications, na mambo kaa hayo, but for marriages that don't work, what exactly are some of the things that people do that contribute to failure in marriages? Cleopas?
Okay, allow me first of all to acknowledge the fact that I am working in a mental health facility. I work with the Chiromo Hospital Group, and we support people, and mainly there are those people who come to us with mental health issues or mental illness, but we find the marriage is affected because of that. And also, there are those things that happen in marriage that can contribute to mental health issues. So it's important, even when we are talking about the few marriages that are working, we start acknowledging that there are people who are unwell. And because the health matters are not discussed, that's not a conversation that people talk about, then we may be saying it is marriages. But we have a certain percentage of people who may be going through a mental illness. And because of that, even when they come to marriage, like things to do with personality, and this is not necessarily a disorder, but there are certain behaviors that people have because of the persona. Personality is how people change. You find someone who is very good in the office, in the public, but when it comes to the house, to marriage, he changes. So it has something to do with his personality. So there are those things that we need to differentiate. The second thing is stereotyping, or the way people have been brought up. So it is true, we have marriages that are going through problems. One could be because a man witnessed or a lady witnessed the way the mother was treated by the father and assumed that is the way people behave in marriage and carries that to their marriage. The other thing is how people talk. Like umesema vitu kwa ground vikoaji. So even the young people, the way they would talk, when I get to marriage, this is what I would want. I would want this from my husband. Or a husband, when they are talking with other young men or men of their age, they are saying this is what I would want my marriage to be.
So the expectations,
yes. So there are those things that people do because of what is happening in the society. And that's why we may need to break down, like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and currently, the marriages are not the same because of the lifestyle. Things have changed. We are living in a global village, so to say. There is communication, people are traveling from one part to another, people are getting exposed when they go to higher schools of learning. So there is a lot that has changed. So we may not expect marriages to be the way they were 20 or 30 years ago. And so some people have that in their mind. So when they get into seeing what's happening in marriage, they think like this is not what should be. But it's because we are in a changing time. So when we are thinking about the problems of marriage, there are those which could come because of our cultural expectations. And some of them, they are biased. All our current expectations. So there is a lot that need to be understood in terms of why marriages are working on well and how we can be able to help them.
Okay, for Frida, I'd like you to give us, in your own perspective, some of the reasons that actually lead to failure in marriages that make people just give up and say, you know what, it's not a must. Like, let me just throw in the towel and call it quits with the person that I loved so much when we were getting married. What are some of the reasons that make people, Yani, just give up during marriage?
Sometimes lack of maybe the resilience and the determination, because I alone said that you have to work at it. It's not something that you just go into it and you just expect things to just flow. We really need to do some work. You really need to do a lot of understanding for your spouse. We need to shed off the expectations that we come with. So sometimes when we get into marriage with that expectation that everything is going to go well, or rather, you know, it's all about challenges. It's about, you know, how I saw my mom doing or my dad doing. It becomes quite challenging. So when we allow influences like of in-laws and third parties, and we allow that pressure from, you know, external pressure come to us. Sometimes you find your marriage or someone's marriage getting challenged. We have some, you know, financial conflicts. You know, when there are some financial conflicts in the marriage, and maybe people are not able to agree maybe how to set their priorities right, or even put a budget together. Maybe one of them is a spender, the other one is able, you know, they have values of saving. It becomes, you know, very challenging. The other thing is about issues of differentiation and individuation, because we are coming from different backgrounds. You know, I'm coming from, if you are a lady or a man, you come from a background, you know, your home of origin, and there were those values that were, you know, taking place or things that you saw. And if you choose to bring them into your marriage, then, you know, carrying everything and exporting the way they were, then there's a challenge right there. So we need to get to a point where somebody gets to be able to differentiate and become the person of their own self, or, you know, with their own values, and not carrying everything from the marriage, from their home of origin. So if that happens, then it brings a challenge. If the two of us come together and we bring everything from where we are coming from without knowing we are two different people from two different backgrounds, and we need to make something new and something that is working for us, then there becomes a challenge, because there will always be conflict. There are issues of conflict of personality. You know, like my colleague said, issues of the way people act, the way people behave, you know. We may have someone being very orderly, the other one is just maybe not very orderly. They are clumsy, they just want to do their things at their own time, they throw things out there. Maybe a man will come and they want to remove socks and throw. The lady is like, what is this? You know, I can't put up with this. You know? And you, if you focus on those small things and allow not to accommodate the personality or temperament of your partner, that one becomes a challenge in itself. Yes. There are issues of sometimes gender roles. Yes, whereby we come with these expectations. I'm a learned woman, I'm a learned man, and like a lady. You know, mostly gender roles, they don't change as much in marriage, especially in Africa, maybe in the West. But I come in, I'm educated, I am expecting my man to cook for me, or we
and there was
share
a conversation that was
responsibilities.
being said about that, and I'd like to dwell on that quite a bit, because we have women who, for me personally, and I'd like to affirm that, I believe in independence, but also a firm believer in you can be a multifaceted woman. But now there was a conversation that was going on social media, and I remember it caused such a stir. Like watu walikuwa wamejam via, and especially men were up in arms and were saying, yani, if these are the ladies that we're looking forward to getting married with, walai, I'd rather not get married in the first place. So the conversation was about ladies who are on a panel together and were saying like, me nimepata degree, nimeenda nimesomeshwa, nimefanya hivi, I am looking so beautiful, I'm earning my own money, I have a car, I have my own house, so my man should definitely cook for me. Nikifika kwa nyumba, I should find him cooking. He expects me, nimetoka job, nikuje nipike. What do you have to say about that?
Wow. I think it boils down with expectations. We need to know that times have changed. You know, times have changed, yes, but at the same time, there is no much change also when it comes to issues, gender roles, especially I said culturally in Africa. So it is good to come in knowing I'm a lady, the expectations of, you know, a man, and being able to balance. The thing here is being able to balance. The man, yes, he can come in and support, but it shouldn't be like he's being forced to. He should also be able to get to see times have changed. If the wife is working somewhere and she's busy, tired, maybe coming a bit late, and is home, it is okay to support. It is okay. It should not be like somebody being...
It's okay to support your woman.
It's okay to support, because we are a team. We are partners. You know, we love each other. We are friends. Let's support each other. But also on the other hand, about the lady, what are my attitudes? How am I approaching my man in this? Yeah, am I requesting him to support? You know, am I maybe asking him or letting him know probably when I'm getting late, so that he can probably take up the responsibility and support. So it's just about understanding. It's still good to know that when I go at home, I'm not a manager anymore. You know, I need to drop that title and, you know, leave it at the door. Wear it when I'm going out. When I come, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. You know, I need to nurture my family, because there's that role that is God-given. If I can come can use that kind of approach. A man may not be able to nurture the family, but a woman, God has created us in a way that we are supposed to nurture our family. So that's a presence. And my role as a woman in that family, it's very key. So I need to understand it so that there can be that balance. And the man has his place also, the issue of leadership, you know, provision, you know. Even if I'm working, I'm supporting. He's the hand, you know. So that kind of balance, understanding each other, and being able to sit and agree. Yes.
Okay, and I want to take it to Cleopatra.